Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, Hook 'em horns.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. Today we are starting a short series called The Rise, A Journey Through Addiction with Emily Dunn. Emily Dunn, as you know, we've had her on the podcast. She is a real spitfire, wouldn't you say, Shelly?
Oh, she is Southern and she is fiery. One of my
Fiery.
one of my favorite sayings is she was like, "She's crazier than a rat in a shit house." That just destroyed me.
She's like that Dr. Phil say the colloquialisms that I was like talking about in the book club where I'm like, is that how we talk? And then I listen to her, I'm like, we do talk like that. Anyway, she is talking about her journey from when she was struggling with alcoholism and then her rise out of it into a sober living life for the last 8 years, Shelly.
8 years. What
Years.
an amazing story, and I'm so grateful that she's just sharing it with us. It's so vulnerable and meaningful and powerful.
It's super honest. And I will tell you, I just want to give you, like, the listeners, Shelly and I have known her for almost 30 years. And I will be very clear. When she was pregnant with Jack and Scarlett, she did not drink at all. It was the healthiest. She glowed. She was like mama bear. She had no taste for it. It was not an issue for her. She was on the straight and narrow. She just struggled with that anxiety that drove her into drinking after the kids were born. And like she said, a lot of women have this issue and are working through their path to from the rise through the journey through addiction. And I'm so impressed with her honesty and how she lays it out there, the good, the bad, the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly. So proud of her and her journey, aren't you, Shelly?
So proud of her and just in awe and so thankful that she's sharing it for
Yeah,
sure.
I think this will touch you guys, and for those of you that are either you're on your path yourself or you know someone, this is just going to give you a lens into what other people are going through. Because, like we said, the way for us all to be connected is to know more about other people's paths, and then just be open to learning new things. So,
And Emily is very much, she wants to be there for people, and, if you want to have a conversation with Emily, she's down for it. Just reach out to us, and we'll put you in
yeah,
touch with each other,
she's
and
an open book. She's
she
an
is an open
open
book,
book.
and she is willing and ready to help people, find their sobriety and the joy of a sober life, and so without further ado, enjoy Emily Hot Skink Dunn.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. Do we call you a repeat offender to the podcast?
You can call me whatever you want. I've been called worse.
I think back by popular demand. I have to tell you, and you were the talk of the town when your interview came out, right, Shelly?
Uh-huh, everybody was like, we had somebody reach out and they were like, "Hey, can you send us, your 3 best interviews?" And we went out to, people that have been part of this from the beginning, and they were like, "You have to send Emily's. You
Yes,
have to
yes.
send Emily's." I was like,
Aw.
"Emily's
It
is
was
so good. It's so
so we have
entertaining."
Emily Hot Skank Dunn
Hello.
back in
Uh,
the house. Today we're recording where we're all in different corners of Austin. But I love this. I'm so excited. Um Okay.
Here's another one. Is somebody was Katie Daly during book club is like, yeah, I was listening to y'all's episode with that really pretty friend of y'all's, the one that's really, really pretty. And we're like naming people that we've interviewed. And
Why wouldn't I be first?
I know. Well, we didn't know how bad. I mean, you were like recently dropped. We didn't know if she had listened to it that day, and so we were like, "Is it is it Katie Pena?" And they were like, "No, no, the hot blonde one, the one that's really, really, really funny." And then we were like, "Oh, Emily."
No
Oh,
brainer. No
I know,
brainer.
so funny.
so nice. Thank
Wow.
you.
Well,
Thanks,
I
was it Katie Daly?
Katie
Katie
Daly,
Daly.
you know Katie Daly. Funny.
Shout out Katie Daly. Thank you. I would tip you if I was in front of you.
No tip needed. No tip needed.
No tip needed. All right. Well, we felt like in our last podcast we had some unfinished business, and right when it ended, you started going into what we would call your sober journey. But we kind of want to back it up a little, and you know, you were talking about how you kind of get yourself into some trouble with drinking. Let's see. You fell off of a sidewalk onto the street in front of somebody's truck. You broke your ankle, I think.
Oh, I broke my ankle probably 3 times.
Yeah.
Broken bones, stitches, bruises.
You name it. Yes. And then you peed in Brad's bed.
Well, he was one of many.
So
It became our question in Single Ready to Mingle. Has anybody peed on you?
is that a deal breaker? And they were pretty much
Apparently not 25
wow.
years later.
Apparently not.
So you kind of starting to talk a little, and then we cut you off. And I thought we would kind of go back and start talking about just what took you down the road to become sober. But I want to ask you some questions prior to that, and then you just kind of take it away. But I'm gonna just kind of start us with some questions. When did you start drinking? How old were you?
Well, I'd like to back up just a little bit.
Yes.
Because I'd like to preface by saying that it's very important to me to reach anyone out there who is struggling or is scared or ashamed, all of the awful things that I felt, and just preface, even though my story is ugly and awful, and I never thought that I would be sitting here almost 8 years later with a phenomenal life because it was so awful. But I'd like to just preface or kind of just backtrack to my growing up life because I think that had a whole lot to do with my drinking.
Yeah.
First of all, I come from a family of alcoholics. So, you could shake my family tree on both sides and they're just falling out all over the place. And that's not to say that you will grow up and be an alcoholic because I know a lot of people that barely drink, that both parents were alcoholics or whatever, but that's not my story. I grew up in a very chaotic household. There was lots of screaming, and at a very young age, now being older, I had anxiety and severe depression, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I mean, I remember being like 8 years old and coming home from school and getting in my closet and listening to the Out of Africa soundtrack crying. I mean, hello, that's not normal. But I mean, Out of Africa, I've never even seen the fucking movie, but the
Right.
was depressing. So I knew I could listen to that and be more depressed than I already was. And also, my father very much was, he's an attorney and then became a judge in Tyler. And so we were well known because Tyler was a small town, and being dignified was very, very important. And that included do not cry, pull up your bootstraps, and, you know, get in the closet and listen to Out of Africa. So, ironically, my mom was crying all the time. I mean, she never stopped crying. I was very confused and whatever. So I got through it with humor like I do with everything.
Yes.
And nobody in the outside world knew that I was suffering. And that just made it 10 times worse because a child isn't going to go up and say, "Hey, do you get in the closet and listen to Somewhere in Time soundtrack or Out of Africa?"
Yeah.
No. Um, but fast forward to the first time that I drank, I think I was maybe 13, 14 anyway. And it obviously didn't take much because I'd never had anything to drink before. And I think I had 2 beers, but I remember it like it was yesterday that I found the cure. It was the cure and my escape, and I was instantly in love because, and it gives me chills now just thinking about it, because I thought, "This is it. This is the way I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to feel anything. This is just wonderful."
Yeah.
And so, it wasn't like an all the time deal. I mean, it was just that was the first time, and I remember that feeling so well.
Yeah.
And, um, so through high school, I mean, we drank all the time. There was nothing to do in Tyler. That's all we did was drink. And, again, it was just when I knew we were gonna drink, I would just be so elated and so excited because I could turn it all off.
Right.
And so I had friends that would be in the bedrooms with their legs spread open, and I didn't care anything about that. I
Right.
just wanted to drink. I'm just like, somebody, where's the next bit? Where's the refrigerator? And that, continued through high school. And looking back, I definitely drank more than any of my friends did. But I didn't, it wasn't like I wasn't physically addicted or anything like that. I mean, I would go weeks and weeks without drinking. Um, and then college, of course, you drink and
Emily, before you go any further, may I ask, like, your family, like, um, what do you think was causing the turmoil with your parents? Like, trying
well,
to keep up with the Joneses, or
that was one thing. It was keeping up with the Joneses, and it was all bullshit. My parents fought all the time. My dad was stressed out, I think partially because of his job that was very,
stressful?
hard, and he had a lot to deal with, but he was also struggling personally with the fact that he was gay. And so that for sure could not be something that So there was just a lot of screaming and a lot of, it was just very chaotic. But
Yes.
outside, once we left the front door, everything was just great and fabulous. And so it was very confusing for me. And again, I had anxiety and depression, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
All I knew is that when I drank, it went away
Yeah.
instantly.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't want to go too far.
No, I want
that.
y'all I want
Yeah,
No, I like that. I mean,
have questions.
yeah, because
there's just a lot of outside sources, and then everybody having their own, just they had their own traumas, and there was a lot going on in your home. I mean, that's just pretty normal. So I get that part. So you started drinking in high school. It did help with your social anxiety. It kind of quieted the tone. And then you didn't have a physical addiction to it, but it was more of a release of dealing with anxiety and stressors at home.
Right,
And
that was my coping mechanism because I had 0 coping skills.
zero coping skills. There you
0.
go.
go back
Oh,
there. That's where I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
yeah, and I continued to drink and, you know but everybody was drinking,
Right.
so I thought it was acceptable that everybody was drinking and, I didn't drink during the day unless there was an occasion, and it wasn't like I got up and drank in the morning again unless there was some kind of something going on at school or whatever. Um, and there was no hair of the well, that's a lie. There was hair of the dog, but, um and then I came to Austin, and that's when I started drinking by myself
Okay.
and didn't see anything wrong with it. I'd quote, had a hard day, lived with my brother, which, you know, you just make excuse after excuse as to why you're drinking the way you're drinking. And at that time is when I started to realize, and let's see, I was probably 27. No, I was probably 23,
Yeah.
24. And I started to realize, I think I have a little bit of an issue here.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't physically, I could go for days, but the fact that I was drinking by myself was a big
Red flag.
sign of,
Mhm.
I'm not saying if you have a couple glasses of wine by yourself, that's not, but when you get dead drunk by yourself, that's there, often there's something more going on.
Yeah.
And but growing up, my parents had parties all the time. They drank all the time. My mom was a total alcoholic,
Mhm.
complete alcoholic. Um, and then so that was very anxiety producing. Hers did not get out of control until after I had already gone off to school. Um, and it was bad, really bad. And she finally went to treatment in 99. Um, and I'm
So you were about
sorry,
20.
I'm all over the place, but
No, were you about 23, 24 when she went to treatment? Or
I can't add, Jody.
yeah.
It was 1999. That's all I can give you.
Right, right. And so where did she go to treatment?
La Hacienda.
And did that help?
Yeah, she got sober.
Did she have to go once, or some people have to
Just
go
once.
one time?
Just once.
She was ready. Yeah. And that was a decision she made on her own to go?
Not really. I mean, she didn't go willingly. It was either die or go. I
Okay.
mean, she didn't go willingly. Harry drove her there and let her drink as much as she wanted to the whole way there, which is very typical because a lot of people are afraid and they're not so sure they want to go. So it's very, very common, as I know from personal experience, for people to show up and they think they're just being dropped off there to, you know, have a couple group sessions for an hour and sing some songs, and their loved one's going to pick them up in a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you started drinking, and then it became where you're drinking by yourself, and you're letting yourself or you're getting to the point where you're like blackout drunk, or did you remember things after when you would drink, or was it pretty much like,
I didn't start having blackout. I didn't start blacking out till probably, after I met Brad. Mm, which was in 2000.
right?
And, that's what we did. We were single and dating, and we went to the bars all the time. And he said he knew from the very first date we went on that I had a drinking issue. Um, Besides the fact that I peed in his bed, but I mean, he would drink 1 beer and I'd already had 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I would drink like I had been in the desert
Yeah.
for a week.
Yes. Yes. So when you were deep into your drinking, how long from when the time you met Brad to where it just started spiraling worse and worse? And then what would a day in the life look like for you when you were drinking, like to the point that you finally said, I gotta stop. This is too much. Like,
Okay, so let's see. I mean, like I said, we drank all the time. We were always, I mean, y'all know we were all drinking all the time.
yeah.
But y'all could get up and be fine and be functional, and I would be in bed all day, and, um, Brad would be totally disgusted with me, and I can't even tell you how many times it was, I'll slow down on my drinking, I'll slow down, and I meant it when I said it,
For sure.
but, you know, I would stub my toe, so I'd need to go get a six-pack, so it was just lame excuses. But then in 2005, we had Jack, and, I slowed down for a while, or I say slowed down, I mean, I drank, but not excessively. Of course, for me, not excessively would be a six-pack, and some people would be Katie Daly would be horrified that six packs. Just
She's a one and doneer. She's a one and doneer.
that is so crazy to me. Like, I would walk through restaurants and people would have half of a drink left, and I'd be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Drink your drink before I drink it." It's just so crazy to me. But, so, you know, I remember, so we had Jack. Eventually, probably when he was to we'd go to tailgates. I'd get hammered and not remember going home half the time. Jody, you and I have many adventures of
We did crazy.
getting in some big trouble.
We did a lot of wandering off. We would get ourselves in trouble a lot. we would wander off and get in trouble quite a bit. So
Oh, we wandered off all the time, especially at Texas OU, and just be like,
my gosh.
remember we wound up at that bar?
Yeah, it was not a good bar.
And it was in a seedy, it was in such a seedy area, and everyone in there was our best friend. And they had all just done. They were all on parole.
Right.
They were all our best friends.
Yeah, we definitely did. We got in trouble.
Yeah, but we all had such good times.
Yeah.
And y'all had to know that I had a drinking problem. I mean, you had to know.
But I mean, you weren't alone.
Well,
we were all participants.
Y'all would get up and do your mom deal, and I started slowly Brad became mom, and it was just me lying on the couch and kind of throwing a duck or a wind up some shit, just not being present at all.
Yes.
So there were discussions. This is probably in, discussions around 2011 started with, you need help. You have got a problem. And I had already started, we got this fucking dog that I think was, well, I know it was psychotic, but I think it was satanic on top of that.
Oh, gosh.
It would hop while it took a dump in the backyard, and that dog drove me nuts. And so I tell everybody, when we had that dog is when I started day drinking. And it started out moderately. I would, 5 o'clock somewhere was just, hell. 4 o'clock, then it was 3 o'clock. And it just was bad. I mean, I remember a little girl that lived across the street, whose mother is the most straight-laced person on the planet, which came to pick her daughter up. Well, the front door was unlocked, and she just walked right in, and I was drinking a beer, and it was like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I panicked. And the only place of all the places, I mean, I could have shoved it under a cabinet. I don't know. She was just standing there, and I put the beer in her daughter's backpack.
Oh,
you got nervous and you were like,
oh, hello. Let me just stick this in your daughter's backpack, and you can just take it home and pretend like none of this happened.
Yeah.
I mean, oh God. I mean, so
Emily, what was the dog's name? I can't remember.
Gunner.
I remember Gunner.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, we took it to Bobby, Colorado to have it to have it trained or do whatever. And I would tell it not to do something, and it would run over and pee on a piece of my furniture. That's why I'm saying
Oh,
it.
right.
I think it was satanic. Um, the dog literally drove me crazy, and about 2 months after we had it, I called Bobby, Colorado, and said, "I'm dropping this dog off." So, I threw it in the car, threw the kids in the car, and sped over there, and, like, literally rocks were flying because I just did like I was just rocks were flying everywhere, dust was going everywhere, and I just said, "Get this dog the hell out of my car." And we later told the kids that it was going to be on the, uh, Discovery Channel. That's why we had to give it back.
Oh, no.
I mean, I later during all my confessions after I got sober, Scarlett was like, "Was Gunner really going to work for the FBI?" I was like, "No, I hated that dog. I just just let it go because you can't lie after you have gone through the program." So I had to break it to him that Gunner was not in the FBI program.
Oh my God. So funny.
So then we tried, because I was able to hide it for a while. I would try, I would kind of sober up before Brad would get home enough to where at least I thought he
Yeah.
wasn't catching on, but he started catching on, and so I
And it
went.
wasn't Brad traveling with
Yeah,
for a little bit?
a
Yes.
lot, and I would get so excited when I knew he was gonna travel because I had free reign, and I remember there would be times that I would just drink and drink and drink and drink and drink, and I made sure that I would have it all planned out for the kids to have rides to school, to be picked up, and blah, 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 and it was literally just it would be like a 3-day bender,
Gosh.
and yeah, it was bad, and so then, um someone told me about, a pill that you could take that would if you took it, it made you sick if you drank. Well, so I got the pill, and I immediately went to Walgreens and found a pill that looked exactly like the pill that was in the prescription bottle and replaced it with I think it was Gas X. I'm not kidding.
Oh, wow.
So I was taking gas, and Brad would literally give me one every day, but it was Gas X.
Oh,
The
okay.
real stuff, I think I threw it out the window. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but so now we're in January of 2013. No,
Yes.
yes, January of 2013. And I was, taking the whatever it's called, but it was Gas X or whatever. And so then in March is when we went to your ranch, Jody.
Mhm.
I'm sure you remember this. And
What?
and Brad gave me my pill that morning that was Gas X. Had the kids in the car. I had already bought the beer and had it hidden in the car, packed the night before, drank the whole way to your ranch, which I made sure I only had 2 because I had my children in the car, mother of the year.
Mhm.
Um, and if you'll recall, everybody was drinking,
Yeah.
and remember that morning all of you there were a bunch of girls there that
Yeah.
all spent the night at the ranch, and y'all each had one hair of the dog, which was, I think, a Bloody Mary or something, and then y'all
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
Well, I kept on drinking, remember?
Hmm.
And when it was time to go, I was so drunk I couldn't drive. And then
Right.
I don't remember how, but you and I went out by what's now the dance barn or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's when I just bawled and said, I need help.
Yeah. I remember that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And we got home and
I drove you home.
you drove me home and I offered you my Louis Vuitton purse for all your kindness. So gross. So embarrassing.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, what is that? What the fuck does that mean anyway?
Well,
We love you.
we love
We
you.
have you.
I'm so sure. Let me give you my Louis Vuitton purse. Biggest this car because you listened to me about me being a drunk. But you were the first person that I said I need help. You were the
Yeah.
very first person.
Jody
I
has
admit it.
never told this story. FYI.
Not
Thank
my
you.
story.
Uh,
Not my story to
That's
tell.
sweet. Yeah, she was the first person that I ever said I need help. And she said, I think you do. And so she drove us home. We pulled in. I don't remember what happened after that. Do you?
Well, I remember we got you home and I'd already told Brad, hey, I'm bringing your family home. And he met you at the door and then y'all started making plans for what
Yeah.
was next. What was the next step?
Yeah. And so I checked into La Hacienda where my mom had gone
Yeah.
for the first time. And that was March 15th of 2013.
Yes. Because it was spring break. And that's why the kids were off.
uh,
And so you said the first time. And so when you were there, at La Hacienda, first off, where is La Hacienda?
It's in Hunt, Texas, and it truly is God's country. I
Yeah.
mean, I just can't put it into words what you just feel the overwhelming presence of, like, again, I have chills, the overwhelming presence of you're safe and it's going to be okay. And I just can't explain it. I can't say enough good things about it. Um, anyway, that was my first
How long were you there? How long did you spend at La Hacienda the first time?
35 days.
35 days. And what would a day like at La Hacienda be like? What was the treatment plan? How did
Well, I was physically addicted. And so they have a kind of a mini hospital there. And so they have to wean you off with medication so that you don't go into DTs, delirium tremens, which is how my aunt died at 41
gosh.
because they gave her aspirin and honey and she had a
Ugh.
massive heart attack in 24 hours.
oh my god.
42, guys.
Wow.
42.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Is this your mom's sister or your
Yes.
dad?
My
Okay.
mom's sister.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
And so you went into the hospital to do the work on the physical addictive part.
Right. And so I honestly, I don't even, well, I was so drunk driving there because, and, Brad was giving me all the beer. In fact, ironically, they recommend, just to let you, especially if it's going to be a few days, just to let you drink as much as you want, and they didn't have a bed available for me for, like, 3 days, so
They don't want you to detox at home by
oh,
yourself. That is
no, you
so
can
scary.
die.
Yeah,
You can die, so they
yeah.
just said, "Make sure you let her drink as much as you want," and I was so crazy and out of my mind that
Yeah.
I thought, "This is wonderful that
Mm.
I have free reign to not have to hide it, to just walk around my house and nobody's gonna say a word to me, and I'm just gonna drink as much as I want to." That's how out of my mind I was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not think about, my children, I would literally die, take a bullet, whatever, anything for.
Of course.
And when you're an alcoholic, there is literally, and I mean literally, and those of you out there listening that are, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is an obsession. Nothing trumps drinking. That is your whole day is, how am I gonna drink at this time before, so it is literally a full-time job
Right.
because it's all you think about, it's all you care about, as much as you don't want to, and then the shame and the guilt, and it just multiplies, and it's the loneliest place in the world,
Yeah.
and
What do they
again,
say? What do they say about addiction? It's the opposite of connection.
Mhm,
well,
It's isolation.
you're so disconnected from everything. You
mhm.
think in your warped mind that you're not, but you have no the disconnect with everybody and everything is, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's just your mind is so warped and so I it's
And
just
I mean, just listening to all the planning you did to try to get your drinking in before you went to La Hacienda, like how you would change out the pills for the gas X, how you would hide your drinks around the house or wherever, how you would plan your kid's day to go get picked up and dropped off and taken to wherever. I mean, there was a lot of planning around, okay, I'm gonna have my drink,
right, that's why I'm saying it was like a full-time job.
it's a full-time job.
Emily, was it, just beer? Not
Yeah,
just beer,
cold
sorry, I didn't
cold
okay.
beer.
I didn't mean to call it
I didn't
just.
know until I got to La Hacienda about the airplane vodka bottles, which were easy to hide. You can't hide a cold beer. I
Yeah,
mean,
But you weren't you didn't drink hard liquor, but you would drink enough of the beer that you would have those same reactions to the
oh,
alcohol.
yeah, and thank God I didn't drink hard liquor because the
yeah.
way I drank,
It would have damaged more of your organs.
yes.
So you're at La Hacienda. They put you into the detox center where you're in a hospital and they medically detox you. So
So important to do
go
that medically.
medically because you don't want to go into the DTs and the DTs can kill you.
100%.
100%. And so you went and did the detox with, and then once you're out of detox, then starts the even harder work.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
driving deep into
Then they
program.
put you, uh, with a roommate, and mine just happened to be the craziest bitch that ever took a breath. Um, she was
Awesome.
tatted from head to toe. I mean, you literally could not put two more opposite people together. But it was crazy because we were just great friends,
Yeah.
but she was crazier than a shithouse rat. I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy. And, so and she had a lot of other issues, as well, but once the fog lifts, that's when shit hits the fan
Yeah.
for you because you're just like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" But I was blessed that I still had my people. My
Right.
auntie was there at home waiting for me to get well. So I learned a lot about myself. What happens is you start going to, group meetings and um, I learned that I don't have to have booze to be entertaining or
You know. I
Nope,
know.
you don't.
to
Mhm.
to be with people and to be amongst people. I learned all that stuff. But meanwhile, I was losing my fucking mind
Yeah.
because the whole reason I started drinking in the very first place was because of my anxiety. Well, so here now my anxiety solution has been taken from me, and I never dealt with all the stuff that made me drink in the first place, and then throw in all the shit that I
Yes.
did, and then let's put it in a pile right in front of you, and you sit in it while
Peace.
you have anxiety and you're still walking sideways, literally,
Yes.
from the medication they give you to wean you off safely because it makes you cuckoo,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that you don't have a heart attack. And
Mhm.
so but after they take you off that, it's just like, "Okay, here it is. Here's all your shit. Here's all your trauma. Here's also all the stuff that you did, all the embarrassing things, the lack of being a mother, all the time you wasted drinking instead of being present.
Mhm.
So here you go." Now,
Yeah. Stacking it on top.
yeah. And so, you know, it was just a process, and every day did get easier, but I have to say I didn't do the work. So
Mm.
that is the utmost important that you do exactly what they tell you to do. You get a sponsor, you do the steps, all of that stuff. And I would just sit over there in the corner and kind of scribble around on a piece of paper and, you know, try to read, try to concentrate. But my anxiety, I remember that there was one point that I didn't eat for 5 days straight because my anxiety was so bad, which exacerbates it.
Right.
But I just so when I left there after 35 days, I was well, I was clean, I was working through my issues. I was told to also get a therapist. They line me up with all this stuff, and you also have a private group, and I don't know how they do it, but they couple y there's 9 of you that meets every day, and they put you together for a common reason. They don't say what it is, but and I honestly the second time I went, I knew why, but the first time I was there, I had no idea why they had grouped us together the way they did, but Um, and it was very beneficial, but there was still just something inside me that I didn't either want. I don't know. Maybe I didn't want to fix it so that I would have an excuse to drink again. I don't know. I do know that when Brad came to pick me up, he was so excited, so happy. And I was happy too because I thought, I've got the tools. Here's my toolkit. Here's my toolkit. But as we were going through those gates, I thought, at some point, I'm going to be back here. I don't know when it's going to be, but I know that this is not the end of my story.
Uh-huh.
This isn't the end of it. And later I found out it wasn't even close to the end of it.
Before we end, but can you tell us, like, how much is a stay at La Hacienda?
Well, that all depends on your insurance, and they pretty much take all insurance. And so,
Oh, well, that's good.
my insurance, it was just I believe it was 5,000 out of pocket and the rest was paid, but a stay at La Hacienda is $45,000.
That
And not all insurance are taken. If people are private pay insurance,
Yeah.
a lot of them do not pay for mental health, and so you're having to come out of pocket.
And
25,
speaking of mental health,
Yes.
there is what they call a dual diagnosis.
yeah.
And La Hacienda does not. So if you've got bipolar, which a lot of people will diagnose alcoholics with bipolar when they do not have bipolar, they're an alcoholic because for some reason the symptoms of bipolar and alcoholism are very similar. But I will end on the fact that that's just the very tip of my story.
Yeah.
It got so ugly so fast. And I mean ugly with a capital U. So you guys
Yeah.
just hang on because it's insane. But
Yeah.
I want everyone out there to know that there is help. And
Yes.
you do not have to live that way. You do not have to live in shame. I
Yes.
could go on and on. I think it's become an epidemic, especially for women.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm not taking anything away from men, but I am a woman. I am a mother. I am a friend. And I think there are women out there that are lying and hiding because they don't know what to do. And I really want to touch on that
No.
because
Yeah.
you don't have to live that way.
Yes. Well, I feel that I want everybody to hear your story and your journey because I think there is a way that if you're wanting to start a journey like this, just to get rid of that, I know you're going to feel the shame or the embarrassment or just the exhaustion.
It
You're-
is so exhausting.
Yeah, but there's a way
Juggling.
out. And maybe La Hacienda is not your thing. Maybe you're like, I can't afford that. How would I do this? There are other steps that you can do that, which we're going to touch upon too.
Absolutely.
'Cause,
Absolutely.
I think when I've heard your story, and I don't even think we've gone as in depth as you're going to tell us, but I know that it was other things that got you over that hurdle to sobriety. And it's an inspiration. And I think, yes, Emily is hilarious.
She is hilarious.
Hilarious. There is a depth and richness to her soul, and it everybody's hurdles, everybody's obstacles, that is what makes us the people that we are. And so we have to get, let's just share it. Let's get connected on it, because you're not alone out there.
People think that alcoholics look a certain way, and that is some bullshit.
Yes.
It does not discriminate.
It does
not discriminate.
It does not discriminate, and there's not always a reason or a trauma behind it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it can come from anywhere. And this just reminds me of like Christian Bolden, Jody, is that, I mean,
Yeah.
Emily overcoming all of this is just somebody that had to go above and beyond,
Yes.
and what did he say? It was like, you have to be remarkable. You have to be exceptional to go through this journey and get to the other side.
Yeah. And you are, Emily. So Shelly's doing her
Well,
cry.
thank you.
I love you so much. We love you so much.
Guys.
Love you,
Thanks, Jody.
Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. There you go.